大家好，我是戴尔。近期，美国总统特朗普针对关税的动作引发全球市场震荡。4月2日，特朗普签署行政命令，宣布自4月5日起对所有美国进口商品征收至少10%的关税。消息发布后引发市场恐慌，美股大跌。9日，特朗普态度发生反转，宣布将暂停对大多数国家征收更高的目标关税90天，但是对中国继续加码，声称要加到145%。关税战的疑云仍然笼罩着市场。我们就此采访一些美国老百姓，看看他们如何看待特朗普关税将对人民生计造成的影响。What do you think Trump's main goal was with the tariffs?
Does Trump even know what his goals are? He just likes to break shit sometimes. I don't know. I mean, he always feels like we're being taken advantage of, even when he has no understanding of the economics of a situation. But so I don't know. He just seems to think we're being ripped off and that he could just unilaterally do this and throw the world into chaos and fix it. But I have not yet read anything by any economist saying that this is a good idea. And the stock market clearly thinks it's a very bad idea.
Well, the excuse of balancing the budget, and I'm talking about the deficits in trade, it's really no excuse. If we are selling a better product, we would have the better deal. And in essence, because China is selling a better product for a cheaper price, they are having a better deal. So they are beating us here in America, unfortunately.
I don't think anyone's too sure about that. I don't think anyone knows what he was thinking. But I mean, this morning he put a 90-day pause on all international tariffs except China. And I think it was, I don't know. I think there's some benefit for people in his inner circle that knew ahead of time that he was going to do this. But, for the average citizen, small business owner, obviously it's very harmful what these tariffs are doing. So, yeah.
He's been talking about this for months and months before he even got elected, and everybody was against it because he thought that the other countries were gonna just submit to it, and his goal probably was to help out Americans and stuff like that, get I don't know.
I think he's probably just trying to increase money for the United States, but I don't think it's all in ways that are the best, in the same ways that he's probably trying to do stuff with the canal. Being from Panama myself, I know that it will cause more harm than good. I see what he's trying to do, but I think he's trying to make money in places that he doesn't necessarily think should have jurisdiction in.
Do you believe the so-called benefits of those tariffs outweigh the potential costs to consumers?
No, it really goes back to the first statement. If you are selling a better product, people's going to buy. Tariff or no tariff. It's unfortunate that we have to use a tariff simply because we are a nation of consumers, not a nation of producers. And that is a sad thing over the last couple of decades. We became a nation of consumers, not producers. If we are selling a better car, then people all over the world will jump over a bus to buy our cars, for a reasonable price. We as Americans, we have to consider our own products. If we are producing something better, people will want it. Today, China is making the best in medication, medicines, technology, computers, AI, and you just can't beat a winning horse.
No, absolutely not. I don't think so. I think the benefiters are, the big corporations. I know everyone says that, and conservative people are like, oh, leftists always say it's the top 1%, but it essentially is. I think for everyone else, it's definitely harmful. Someone made a joke recently where it was just if you're gonna get a new iPhone in the future, it's gonna cost you $3,000, and I think it's, in part a joke, but also there's some truth behind stuff like that, right?
Because I'm not an economist, the only way that I can have any decent answers to this is to read things by people who are, right? Like if you don't know something, you should at least try to find out where to get accurate information. And I can't find any economist or financial guru or anybody saying that these tariffs are a good idea. I read one article by a conservative economist saying that maybe in some capacity they're a good idea over a long period of time. Like, I don't know anything about tariffs, but I can't find anyone saying that it's a good idea to do what he did. And the fact that he's had to step back from it is probably related to the fact that no one thinks it's a good idea and the economy is responding to what a poor idea it is.
So there could be benefits in the future as like things will start being made in America, but as of like right now and how it's being done and how all the other 72 countries are going against his tariff acts as well and like matching them as well, it's not the right way to go about it,
It's weird because he's trying to, from what I know, raise money for the country to say get us out of debt and help us in certain areas. But then by doing that, he's making the people in the country pay more. So it's like he's not making the country cheaper, but then again, he's also trying to gain wealth for the country, but it's more governmental, I feel like. So I think for the normal consumer, I've heard, this is what I've heard, for a temporary period, things will be more expensive, but then I heard it will sort of level out. So if that is true, then I think it's okay, depending on how long that period is. But if that doesn't end up happening and things stay more expensive, I don't think it's worth it for the long term.
But do you think the tariffs will make the U.S. more like self-reliant or more isolated in global trade?
That's a good question. I'm not too sure. I think the U.S. wants to be self-reliant. They want to basically create their own economic hub, and they have, and they always have been. I'm not too sure, though, with that question. Yeah.
It seems that it will make us more isolated, and they seem to have a lot of negative effects that he, unsurprisingly, have never considered. Yeah, I mean, I think it seems almost designed to make us more isolated.
That's the goal, but I think with Donald Trump's attitude, it can very much make us more isolated because he's a little too outspoken sometimes and doesn't have a very presidential filter when it comes to his words.
Do you think Trump's new tariffs will directly impact you or your community? And if so, how?
Yeah, 100%. Like day-to-day life. I mean, personally, I am Canadian, so I have personal beliefs in this, but I'm not gonna say what they are. Fellow Canadians out there definitely know. But yeah, like tariffs are tariffs. It's coming out of someone's pocket, and they're definitely gonna affect us. 100%. Yeah.
I think not so far, but I think possibly wages will have to change to an extent because normal priced imports they'll change. And so if that is a big change, then people will have to find a solution to that because they won't be able to afford certain things that they could beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like if you have to buy a car, you're kind of screwed if suddenly you have to pay thousands of dollars more than you thought. And more importantly, people are watching their 401ks tanking in the last few days. That's absolutely terrifying. So yeah, I mean, I think again, this is probably why he had to step back, even though he was so gung-ho about it, because people are not going to tolerate that, having all of their money essentially just disappearing from their accounts because of these crazy ideas of his.
As of right now, I personally haven't, and I've been to a couple stores. I personally haven't seen it yet, but I've heard people on social media, like how they have stuff, all like their small business is already done for. Like they have stuff in the Pacific Ocean that's like just like they can't get it back or forth because it costs twice as much as it did, to even like move it. And every day they're charging them. So their business is done. I heard about that. Eggs, I don't think that's like relevant to the tariff acts, but we do get a bunch of our eggs from Britain and other countries as well as the United States. But as of right now, I personally don't see it, but it just started happening.
Yes, because things will now become more expensive if you really want the best. And if the best is coming from overseas, not here at home, then we're stuck with tariffs, unfortunately.
Are you more or less confident about your financial situation with this kind of trade policies from the Trump administration?
As of right now, I could be worried a little bit, you know, but like in the future of like paying and living alone and the cost of living as well. But as of right now, I'm comfortable, but like other people, I don't know.
I'm very much less confident than I would be if we could have a stable economic environment. Yeah, I think chaos in the economy is not good for me or anyone.
There would definitely be more uncertainty. If they continue, I think I would be more and more worried. I think everyone is already worried, and that worry is not going to go away anytime soon.
If you could say something to politicians on trade policy, what would you say to them?
On the tariff policy, I would say obviously, like, for me, it's like see it from our point of view, but they also can't do that, because if they only see it from our point of view, they have to see it for the greater good overall for the country. And if they see it for just this section of people in the U.S. or just one section of people, they all have different needs, so they can't meet the needs of everybody. So it's an interesting thing, but obviously politics has their flaws, their issues, and they can't please everybody. And I think sometimes they give up on pleasing anybody and just go for what they feel like is needed.
Essentially wake up. I think this is almost like a dystopian world that we're living in. Like every morning people wake up, they turn on the news, and they're trying to make sense of what the hell's going on. It doesn't seem like logic is in place of politics right now. I think, yeah, essentially what I'd say to like U.S. politicians, it's just to wake up and look at the world and look at what you're trying to achieve, and like try to associate that with your own policies and see how they are just completely non-working. You know, it's a paradox. Like it doesn't work.
Egos are too high. Try to work together. That's it.
To these politicians, they're such hypocrites. If we have a no tariff policy throughout the world, it will be a better world.
Don't let Trump do this crazy shit. Congress has the power to stop him, and my understanding is that Congress can control tariffs if they want to. So please do that, do your job, and don't let this maniac run roughshod over our economy.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
欢迎大家一键三连，多多评论转发，你们的支持是我更新的动力。如果大家还有什么想问美国的问题，可以在评论区打出来。我们下个视频再见。